Welcome back to our city. A few things going around the city of Elizabeth this week. On Wednesday, May 4th, around 11 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to attend the Fire Department Valor Awards ceremony. It will be held in council chambers on the 3rd floor of City Hall, located at 50 Winfield Scott Plaza. And on Thursday, May 5th, at 11 o'clock in the morning, a grand opening and ribbon cutting of the Point Guard Plaza, located at 801 Livingston Street. This new shopping complex will feature businesses such as the IGA Supermarket, Dollar General, a Cricket Wireless, Subway, Popeyes, Banquet Restaurant, and a Sonic Suds Laundromat. For more information, please call 908-355-7600 at the Chamber of Commerce. Following that event around 1:30, I'm going to join members of the Mexican community in our city and other residents of Elizabeth for a special celebration of Cinco de Mayo and the independence of Mexico. As part of that celebration, we will raise the Mexican flag in front of City Hall. And later that evening at 7 o'clock, I'm going to join Councilman-at-Large Frank Cuesta at his 11th annual Elizabeth Promise Awards Dinner. This year it's held at the Renaissance Newark Airport Hotel. The Elizabeth Promise Award Incorporated is a 501c3 tax-exempt organization created solely for the purpose of raising funds for deserving high school students from Elizabeth who will be attending college or another post-secondary education. For more information or purchase tickets, please call Frank Cuesta at 908-578-3567 or email him at elzuro@optonline.net. On Saturday, May 6th, at 11 o'clock in the morning, the 13th annual Play Ball for Miracles. We get to throw out the first ball. It's a charity event. It takes place at field number 8 and numerous other fields throughout One Ankle Park. All proceeds for this event benefit the Children's Miracle Network. If you need more information concerning these events or any other events, please call our Public Information Office at 908-820-4124. Please stay with us after these messages where we're going to talk about a lot of plant growing. I'm excited for this show. Stay with us.
Offering everything you could want from college, including a life. Kane University.
Welcome back to our city, where I'm pleased to be joined by Mr. Sergio Granados, a freeholder of Union County. Freeholder, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Mayor.
Miss Jackie Park Albaum, Groundwork Elizabeth, Garden Director.
Thanks for having me.
Jackie, good to see you again.
Always a pleasure.
And Mr. Stanley Neron, who is the President of the Elizabeth Board of Education. Stanley, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
You've been here before.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I'm back.
I know, but you're here. So, Freeholder, what inspired you to come up with the Kids Dig in Community Gardens grant program? This is your concept. You've come up with this idea.
I got to give credit.
You're getting pretty creative, then.
I am.
You know.
I got to give credit where credit's due. It was actually me, Maria Carvalho. We're at the Portuguese Club Hydroponic Garden, and we're talking about it'd be amazing if we get students involved and making sure this is a full access community event. And what we did was this year I became the open space committee chairman, and one of my 2 brand new grants I've created through park fees, non-tax dollars, is a Union County Kids Digging grant, in which we're working with Groundworks, Elizabeth Public School System, in making sure we provide local schools with community gardens.
Well, since Elizabeth is providing a bulk of that money, we should be getting a lot more of it.
And you guys are. And
we
you
are.
are. And you are.
I'm glad to hear that. Are you glad to hear that, Stan?
Oh, absolutely.
So, Stan, have you ever gardened before?
I have, actually.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Yeah,
Tell
I have
me about
gardened.
this.
Well, I garden actually in my new home where we've planted.
Yeah, I know you have a new bride.
A new bride.
Right, so,
and we actually planted peppers and cucumbers and tomatoes and stuff like that.
When you say we, your wife's doing this too?
Yes.
Yeah,
and I used to actually
she
do
looks
that.
way too nice to start doing gardening.
And I used to actually, my grandfather, when I was very young, had a farm in Haiti that he would take me around and actually show me, what he was doing as far as, his plants and his
But he
crops.
would take you around. Did you get on your hands and knees and do this?
I would help, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would help as a kid.
What do you remember doing as a kid?
Digging holes.
Digging holes
Digging holes and planting.
and putting stuff in it.
And putting stuff in it, yeah.
So Sergio, have you ever gardened?
Yes, my grandparents are definitely big agriculture people. We do grapes to make wine. We have peppers. We have peach trees in Elizabeth and everything.
Making wine is not gardening.
Okay. We have the
I mean,
peach.
come up with a better
We
explanation.
have broccoli. We have lettuce.
Okay.
We have a mixed variety right here in Elizabeth. Or they have
You
their
do in
houses.
Elizabeth, yeah.
Do in Elizabeth.
So what impresses me about you two guys is your grandparents have done the gardening, and you've learned from them.
Yeah.
And I can you invite me over to your house when you're actually doing the gardening? I'd like to see this.
Sure.
So not for the wine portion. For
No,
the garden,
I
okay.
want to stay for the wine portion of your house. So Jackie, I've saved you for last on the question of have you ever done any gardening? Because you could probably go for a long time with this question. Right?
I totally could. Yep, I've been gardening for a bunch of years. We worked with Assemblywoman Quijano in 2009, launched Come Grow With Us with the goal of increasing access to sustainably grown food in our community. Is, you know, everyone knows once you're in that urban area, you really lose that opportunity. You might live in a 4-family house, you might live in an apartment building. So you get further and further away from the gardening. And actually what these two wonderful guys just said is what we usually hear. If people do have an experience, it's always the grandparents, whether they be here somewhere that they do it or back in their country. We hear it all the time. So
Jackie, you majored in something like neuroscience, right? And then went into gardening. You had a big switch in your life.
I did. I was in fashion buying and merchandising.
Right.
And you know, I got into communications and just I just fell in love, and the ability to work with you and the city of Elizabeth and the county has been so supportive. We've just been able to grow. We keep on growing.
Sergio, how's this going to work? Tell us how this grant works now.
So basically, the grant went out to different school districts throughout the whole entire county, and we actually received 32 different applicants. And what we did was, you know, there's 10 from Elizabeth alone, so all 32 actually received funding, which is great because we didn't deny anybody. There's nobody worrying about schools having to put their own school funding into this project. We're picking it up through the county. We're saying it's not tax dollars. It's through people who go play golf. We're taking $1 out of their golf fees to make sure we put money investing in youth and investing in children.
So when I play golf, I got to play an extra $1, is what you're telling me to help fund this?
It already comes $1 out of your golf fees.
It does.
Yes.
That's just pretty clever. So is this part of the open space tax money, or this is just a golf fee?
Golf fees. It's a brand new grant I created this year as the chairman for the committee, and something that definitely I think
What do the golfers think of this?
they're supportive. It's giving back to the community.
Oh, yeah,
It's
it's growing
playing their
plants,
part.
right?
And they don't know about it that much, so, you know, it's even better.
So you create the financing, that's right, they don't even know about it.
So here you go. I'll pay for
That
it.
makes a lot of sense. So from your perspective in designing the funding mechanism and the funding scheme is very creative. And Jackie, how does it work from your point of view?
Well, we have 32 amazing applicants from around the county, and within the next 3 weeks, we will be quickly doing site visits. Now's the time to plant. So we know ahead of time what they're looking for. Some of them want to do raised bed gardens, which are about 10 inches, 2 by 10, about this tall, and some of them are actually doing earth boxes, which I brought on last time, which is a 1 by 2 box about this tall and a pipe, and that's really all made out of like a food grade PVC, and which is really awesome for these schools that don't have land. You know, some of our schools are extremely landlocked, and outside of parking and, you know, maybe a little slither in the front, there's really nowhere, you can't put in a traditional garden. So the freeholders heard about the earth boxes and were like, this, you know, what a great thing for some of our really tight schools. So we're building all the beds beforehand at the Elmora Public Library. We'll let you know the dates so you can come on over and help.
Well, I could pretend to be these guys' grandfather and start getting shoveling and stuff. Stan, are the schools aware of this yet?
Absolutely. We have 10 of our schools that are going to be fortunate enough to have this grant. The kids are pretty excited about it. Students find gardening pretty fascinating when it comes to, you know, planting and growing something and watch something.
There's also a science education here too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I also want to give credit where credit's due. Maria Carvalho, who's our vice president of the board, we have an awesome team that we work with, and many of our board members have come up with initiatives, and this is one of the major initiatives that Maria has been a huge supporter of in engaging the students in the schools and buying the support throughout the schools in the district, along with our superintendent. So it's something that's pretty exciting, and I think it's going to be innovative for the students to not only just plant, but understand, the environment and understand healthy eating and what health and wellness as well.
So who administers the program, Freeholder?
Groundworks, Elizabeth.
Oh, they are?
Yes,
So
they
it's
are.
going through you, Jackie.
Well, it's going through Groundwork, Elizabeth. I'm the hand.
You're the hand. You're the administrating hand. So you also work behind Kane University, which is you're getting moved, but
Yep.
that's
yep.
how it all started, right? This farm to table stuff and
Definitely. We were privileged to come and farm some land at Liberty Hall Museum. And this was we did about 3 years. We were supplying the restaurant. And then during that time, we just were able to meet some great people and demonstrate our abilities. So, we see a great future with the Freeholders and maybe another spot at Kane. We're hopeful for that. And it's been a
So
real
did you work on this grant, or
amazing.
what happened when the Freeholder brought it to your attention? What, did you get involved in this in the beginning?
I said, "Oh no, another large grant!" And then Sergio's like, "This is what we're doing." And I was like, "All right, we do another grant with the county called Union County Means Green, and that's open to nonprofits and municipalities." And we saw, and really Sergio saw that there was such a need in the schools, and that's why they do he created Dig In, because we had such a great response there. So we have a team. We can do these things pretty quickly. So a 6-bed garden's about 4 total hours. Bunch of people bring it over, and they bring in their volunteers. And this time it's awesome because it's going to be the kids. Yeah. The kids are going to come out and they're going to help with the wheelbarrow and stuff. And I can't say enough about the city of Elizabeth. We have an unofficial or a promise to each other that within 3 to 5 years, we want to have gardens in every school in Elizabeth, whether it be hydroponic or in the ground or an earth box. And actually with this, I think we're up to 18. So we're going. Pretty exciting.
So, Stan, you know what schools receive these grants?
A large number. We have 2 high schools, Thomas Edison Academy, Thomas Jefferson Academy, along with School 5, School 9, School 21, School 14, School 28, and I think I got them all.
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah.
And you said this is 18 schools that are now going to be doing gardening out of all the schools in Elizabeth?
Yep, in the city of Elizabeth, we'll be up to 18, and we'll be working with the cool thing, I think, with this grant, and I something we kind of said to the Freeholders early on is we want to make sure there's always education there. I can go to your house and we can put a garden in, but if you really don't know how to care for it, I'm going to come back in a couple weeks and everyone's going to be a little sad. So we'll be doing workshops throughout the year, and we're going to open it to all the teachers in Elizabeth to come on out and see how this really could fit in. And to your point, and obviously these gentlemen's point, science, math, health, society, social studies, it really runs the gamut. So we're hoping to from our perspective, better understand the core requirements and see, really standardize it out. So we're really going to get it all together so the teachers can just go, but they can always call us. We're an email or a phone call away.
So Freeholder, you talked about 32 different school districts. How many towns?
There's 14 towns.
14 of the 21
Yes.
towns compete. Oh, that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. So do you do this again next year, you think?
Yes, I think it's already a major success within our communities.
I think we got to raise the golf fees another $5 and do more on this program.
We'll make sure you hold the press conference. You see it
I'm
in
going
that.
to do that, calling for the $5 increase on the golf fee and then giving more. I wonder how many golfers are watching this show. That's going to be a good question. How many phone calls you're going to get
got a couple
from
emails
golfers?
next week, though.
Yeah, you probably will get a few from golfers. So we're gonna come back and talk about the actual vegetables and things that we have in front of us with you, Jackie and Stan. But before we go to the break, Stan, what's the reaction from teachers and students about this grant?
Well, you have a lot of gardening enthusiasts and students who are fascinated by this. And even before this initiative, there were schools that had gardens that were, doing semi-gardens and planting fruits and vegetables similar to this, in a small incubator where they were experimenting with it. But now, with this opportunity, we've been able to expand. So I think it's an opportunity that the students are going to be very excited about, and they're very excited about it. And they're going to have plenty of ideas, and they're going to want this to grow even more.
Oh, yeah.
Stay with us. We're going to take a break. We're going to a couple of commercials and come back and talk more about this great opportunity.
Awesome.
Please stay with us after these messages. We're back more about the Union County grant to school districts helping students learn how to grow.
We're an American original, dependable, historic, nuanced, with all the comforts of home, even when you're just visiting. So we're celebrating for all that we've left untouched and all that we've changed. A place where the past meets the future. So consider this your invitation.
We've been celebrating here in Elizabeth for 350 years, and we're just getting started. Welcome back to our city, where I'm pleased to be joined by Freeholder Sergio Granados, Chairman and President of the Elizabeth Board of Education, Mr. Stanley Neron, and Jackie Park Albaum with the Groundwork Elizabeth. So before the break, we were starting to talk about the plants that you have here on the table. And I guess Jackie and Stan are going to take us away on this, on what types of vegetables we're going to work with the kids having grow all of this stuff in the school gardens. So, because I guess the game plan, Stan, will be for the kids to eat this stuff, right?
Yes, eat
snack
it
time or something.
and talk about the importance of healthy eating and wellness and having a balanced diet. And that's a great lesson that can be learned from the inception of how they plant it, how it's grown, understanding the agricultural industry, how that works and how distribution works throughout the country and around the world. And I think it's a great tool for them to learn and understand, to kind of make it applicable learning where they get a chance to, actually do the work and then read about it in the books that they have in their curriculum. And then at the dinner table be able to have a great conversation with the family. This is one of the ways that we use family engagement with the students because some of the schools that we have that have had their gardens invite the families to come out and plant with them as well. And it becomes a great conversation around the dinner table.
So Jackie, tell us about some of these plants here.
Today we brought some collards. Collards are brassicas. They're relatively hardy. These are actually ready to go in the ground. We usually start planting at May 15th. Your tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, but there's some cold weather crops that can go in a little bit.
When you say
early.
collards, it's called collard greens.
These are collard greens.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, definitely popular. And then what we brought over here is borage. And borage is actually a really good pollinator attractor. So that's what's attracting your insects. It has these beautiful blue flowers that come off. We must have grown 20,000 of these for Racino at Kane. They use the flowers as garnishes, and actually, if anyone's going to be brave, the leaves taste like oysters. So the fancy chefs will, cut these leaves and place them on a salad, and they're pretty highly prized. But really good companion plant. There's certain plants you can plant together that helps.
So they're edible.
Does better. Yeah. I'll eat one.
It tastes like oysters.
Tastes like oysters.
Okay.
I got you on this one.
It does. Wow.
The flowers, I'll say the flowers do not taste like oysters. They're kind of a little bit on the sweeter side, but
But they don't serve it like that, do they?
they would, maybe in like a fancy salad, like an appetizer, they might put 1, 2, or 3 leaves, or have it top a small salad. But they don't want them much bigger than this. For the fancy.
But the collard greens are going to grow bigger.
The collards grow. They can get, I've seen collards 4 feet high, and the real thing about collards is picking them. And the best part, though, about collards, and this applies so much to the schools, they're not necessarily all there in the summer. So we have some great PTAs that are coming in. We have a bunch of dedicated teachers who will help it. But collards go to November, and you can get a frost.
And you could cook them incorrectly too, right, Stan? I learned this lesson.
Oh.
I got my hand slapped one day because I tried to eat collard greens too early.
Yeah, it has to cook at you have to let it boil at a certain temperature for a great period of time for it to be edible.
Yeah, it's just.
And that'd be really tough.
Yeah, I learned that lesson.
Yeah.
It was a good lesson to learn, I can tell you that. So, Freeholder, tell me about how much was the total grant awards?
It was $40,000 in total. There was
You got to increase that. That's not enough.
We did a good amount, 32 schools, and basically even what Jack and Stan are both saying, what makes this grant unique is that you have the buy-in of not only students, you have teachers, the PTOs. We already have plenty of PTOs reach out to Stan and myself saying they want to get involved in this, have their volunteers help out. And, even me and Stan have been talking too, instead of having your bake sales, have a vegetable sale. Make sure that there's so many families who sometimes can't afford certain produce from supermarkets, they can come back to local schools and let the PTO students hold the fundraiser and sell these vegetables in which they can raise money for the local school.
What do we have over here, Jackie?
This is actually a fig tree, and we recently have built a 50-bed community plot garden at Elmora Public Library, and this will be.
And they're planted there?
Not yet. It's on its way. We just actually built about a week ago, and this will be going out there next week.
Did you start all these from the seeds? Or
well, I gotta give a big shout out to Jerry Bryden right now. So Jerry's a real good friend of Groundwork. His son Darren is within your administration. Jerry's 80 years old. Came to us about a year and a half ago. He starts all our plants, and this year right here in the Kane greenhouse, 12,500 plants. So we start for obviously any work we do at Kane, but then we grow all the plants for Union County Kids Dig In, and also for Union County Means Green. And then we have about 70 partner gardens. So we supply plants and fertilizer to these gardens at no charge.
So what's in those green buckets? The green jars?
It's worm poop. Worm poop. Yep.
And you pick on me, Stan, once in a while for some of the things I say. Can you believe what she just said? I mean, come on. That's what that is, huh?
Yep, we got, and God bless Kane, they were so kind to let us, we got 20 pallets of this donated. It was from a company called TerraCycle. And
how many worms does it take to make 20
At one point, they supposedly had like 8 billion worms, and they would eat. And then this is
each other probably.
No, I think they give them plenty to eat. And interestingly enough, they just changed their business model, so they're no longer in the fertilizer market. And
they ran out.
Well, no, I don't think. I think there might even be some left. So if you know anywhere where I can store another 20 pallets, let me know. But this is kind of the value of Come Grow With Us, and this is the value we bring to the schools, that someone can approach us and say, hey, we have 20 pallets, and I can say, hey, Sergio, I need to get these 20 pallets, and you can say, oh, I can help get these trucks to go over here. Then I can take this fertilizer, and then I can distribute it to all these gardens.
So what can the money for the grant be used for, Freeholder?
It can be used for different projects. This is just one of the brand new grants. We actually have another one kicking off pretty soon, too. Just go a little off topic. It's basically to be geared towards giving municipalities money in which they're going to create a playground within their town to be inclusive playground. I know the very first one in a county park was actually right here in Elizabeth at Montana Park. The very first inclusive playground was here in Elizabeth, and now we're going to provide funding for every single town to have an inclusive playground, becoming, I believe, is actually the very first county in the whole entire country to have every single municipality with an inclusive playground.
That's awesome.
That's terrific. And when do you think the gardens are going to be built by?
Hold me to it, the 19th of May. Maybe 1 or 2 due to scheduling after, but we'll be building a total, with both these grants, 31 gardens in 15 days.
This is terrific, greening the city. And I just did a radio interview with the station in Atlanta about sustainability, and I didn't even get into this, but I could spend another whole hour on the radio station in Atlanta talking about the work that you folks are doing and with the schools. I think it's fascinating. Do you think there's other school districts in the country doing things like this, Stan? Because I haven't heard of things like this. It's clever.
Most likely dealing with going green and becoming a sustainable school. One of the things that we did last year is I introduced a resolution to have our schools become sustainable green schools. And that was around recycling and making sure that they can go green and be environmentally conscious. And that's something that is happening throughout the state of New Jersey. But nothing as unique as this, where we have gardens, and we'll probably have gardens in probably every school here in the city of Elizabeth. But this is going to tie in perfectly with schools going to become sustainable and green.
So, Stan, we have the summer coming up naturally, and Jackie talks about by May 19th everything is going to be done. But what are we going to do to maintain and keep it going for the summer months without students in class?
The staff is committed to maintaining the gardens and making sure that they're kept up, along with the partnership that we have with Groundworks. And we'll give specific instructions to everyone as to how to maintain them and keep it going. And it's something that I know the board is advocating for, and we'll make sure it happens.
So Jackie, off camera, we have what you told me are carrots.
Yeah.
And how long does it take for carrots to grow, I guess, after you put them down there in the ground?
Depends. You have some short season carrots.
Because they grow
which
underneath
are
the ground, right?
They can, or they can grow in boxes. The ones we have off screen right now are growing in a box.
Oh.
And that's the earth boxes that we talked about. And it's real fun for the kids. Love pulling things out of the ground.
I know.
They love it. So
These two guys did too with their grandfathers.
And look at where we're sitting today. It made that kind of impression. So carrots anywhere from about 45 days to upwards of 100 days, depending on different, a big carrot, a small carrot, baby carrots.
And
like
collard greens, how long will it take them to grow?
I think if you put these out probably in about 40 days, you get your first harvest. You pick from the bottom with the collards, and then you get these stalks that the stalk will.
So
keep
where they
on.
are now, you wouldn't pick from the top part of this. You'd pick it from the bottom as it grows.
Yeah, I wouldn't pick anything now. I'd give it a good month and a half to sit out there. Some people do like to have the collards when they're smaller. They're you could more have them in salads, but if you're really getting a lot more energy to them by kind of letting them reach their maturity. And then, as mentioned, these can go to November. I think that's one of the coolest things about collards is, and some other things, the more you pick, the more you get.
Oh, really?
So healthy collards, like you strip them out once every other week, you got a couple plants, more than enough for 1 or 2 meals. And they freeze too, and that's one of the things that we can't wait to start teaching the kids. Like, you can blanch your green beans, and then you can freeze them. Like, it's organic green beans. A bag of them are like $3, and if you can grow them yourself, that's the point.
Right. So Freeholder, $40,000 does not seem like enough for this program to continue. So
We'll up it next year.
when do you go back to the freeholders and ask for more money and tell them
Starting
this is a
before
great
the end of the
program?
year, we're going to do that. And actually, one key topic I forgot to mention before, I know you've always talked to me and Stan too about make sure we give back to our community. 30% of the produce that's grown within these school gardens is going to go back to a local food pantry or shelter. So it's definitely going to be amazing to the community. We're talking about School 28, going back to Presbyterian Center, going back to their food bank, and letting the kids see about giving back at an early age and making sure they make a difference in their community.
Stan, are the kids going to get graded on this, or is this just part of his extracurricular activities? How's this? What's the school board's
one of the
impression of this?
The key initiatives that we have in the school district is, like Sergio mentioned, is giving back and volunteering. So this is part of the students volunteering and giving back. And when they do give back to food pantries and local communities, it's going to be an activity to really sowing a seed and giving back. So.
I want to thank the three of you for taking the time to join us on the show this evening.
Thank you.
I really wish you a lot of luck. This is an exciting opportunity with the grant and this cooperation of the school board. And Jackie, you look so nice. You're not usually in jeans and everything else, and you got the apron on.
The
and
last
hands in
day of
dirt.
me
Yeah.
being clean for the season.
Good. Well, I appreciate your work, Jackie,
Thank
on
you.
behalf of a lot of people in our city and our county.
And
So
I
thank you.
appreciate everything that the freeholders are bringing to this. Their commitment is really outstanding.
For Freeholder Sergio Granados, Board of Education President Stan Neron, and Miss Jackie Park Albaum from the Groundwork Elizabeth, we thank you for watching this evening, and we'll see you next week on another edition of Our City.
We're creating tomorrow's jobs today. Kane University.